I'm Nora, and I am a podcast host, and I am the author of several funny books about sad things. I am a speaker, like a public speaker. I don't want to say motivational. I think I'm actually incredibly demotivational. I was an entrepreneur at one time, and for many years, I am sorry to say this, I was a girl boss. And it wasn't just me. There were thousands, there were possibly millions of us out there thinking that we were on the precipice of busting through that glass ceiling while simultaneously leaning in, that we had as many hours in the day as Beyonce. We shared that on Pinterest along with Rise and Grind, okay? Hustle our way to the life of our dreams where we loved what we did and therefore wouldn't work a day in our lives. I graduated college in 2005 and I said, what glass ceiling? Okay? We don't even need feminism because men and women are equal. All right. Then when I found out, because I cracked my head against it, that the glass ceiling was real, I said, fine, I'll break through it. Give me a corporate ladder. I will climb it. Make it a corporate rope. I'll do it. Okay? I have incredible upper body strength. If you tell me that the career ladder is now a jungle gym, fine. I will swing across those monkey bars. No problem. I bought so many pencil skirts. I went to so many conferences. When my boyfriend had a seizure and ended up having a brain tumor, a VP at the agency I worked at, an ad agency, brought a laptop to the hospital so that I could work on a pitch during his brain surgery. And I said, you got it, boss. No problem. Nothing is going to hold me back. Not a brain tumor, not cancer. No way. Give me that laptop. I'm going to blow your mind with the PowerPoint presentation that I am about to make. I worked from the hospital numerous times. A month after his brain surgery, we got married. We didn't take a honeymoon because we didn't have money, but we did have looming medical debt. I read Lean In on maternity leave, and I thought, yeah, this is it. I'm not letting motherhood hold me back. No, I can have it all. I can have a career. I can have a little miracle baby. I can have a husband who's dying of cancer. I'm not going to let this little baby who was conceived via science while his dad was dying of brain cancer hold me back from spending as much time as possible at a cubicle. All right? No baby is going to get in between me and what is absolutely not a dream of mine, but I'm going to do anyways. I took that little baby who was not going to hold me back. I brought him right to daycare. I went right back into the office and I did not complain after maternity leave that a male colleague was executing all of the strategies that I had developed before maternity leave and was now treating me like I was his assistant and asking me to pull reports instead of, doing the work that I had laid out. I didn't complain about any of that. I just did it. I pumped in a little tiny closet that often other male colleagues were using for conference calls or even naps. I would get to my job, saving the world, working in social media marketing. I'd get there at the crack of dawn. I would drop that teeny tiny baby off at a daycare that cost more than 50% of my take-home pay. If my husband was in the hospital getting chemo, I was there with my laptop. I prided myself on working not smarter, but harder. On having my phone within reach at all times, at replying to emails with the subject line 911, emails that were typically about banner ads, when that same night I would actually call 911 because my husband was having a seizure due to his brain tumor. Girl boss culture is now, as they say, cringe. It is so far out of vogue that it is now toxic. And to admit that you were once a willing participant in a culture that told you that the best way to participate in a damaging structure was to assimilate and perpetuate everything that was wrong with it is like an admission of guilt for a crime against yourself and also against the rest of a culture that now seems to agree, actually, to quote the excellent podcaster Sarah Marshall of You're Wrong About, it was capitalism all along. But I don't know that we knew that at the time. Not when we were reading Lean In and Girl Boss and painting everything we owned millennial pink and learning calligraphy and starting a side hustle and whatever else we did in the name of feminism from 2012 until whenever we stopped doing all of that, which feels very recently and only thanks to Gen Z. Gen Z, good job. I see you. I love you. I love seeing your TikToks about how work is not your life and how you prioritize self-care. Self-care hadn't been invented when I graduated college. I didn't make a dental appointment without asking my boss if it was okay first. She always said no. Millennials were launched into a work culture that already thought we were dumb and lazy, and every millennial I know is burned out because we were trying to prove ourselves to who and for what, I'm not sure. Gen Z is not like this. Girl bossing is out. Burnout is out. But one night I was scrolling TikTok, and why do I say it like that? TikTok. I'm originally from Minnesota. It's TikTok. TikTok. TikTok, 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 TikTok. Now I don't know how you say it. How do you say it? How do you say it? TikTok. TikTok. Anyways, I was scrolling TikTok and I was served a video that almost pulled me right back. The woman was around my age. She was in a crisp, expensive looking outfit, the kind of outfit that to me, if you are not wearing color, I assume you have money. I assume if you are wearing something like baggy and colorless, like beige, white, black, linen, I'm like, you must be rich. I don't know what that's about. Her outfit was crisp. It did look expensive. She's about my age. She's staring into the camera and she goes, is anybody else obsessed with maximizing your potential and being more efficient? And I did not scroll. I kept watching and the video kept going. And it was about how this woman was waking up at 4 a.m. to work out and read self-help books that are vaguely, I guess, about business and all these other life hacks that she is using to be more efficient and not waste any time. I was in bed watching this video. It was 8:40 p.m. I had unwashed dishes in the sink. I had an unfinished to-do list. I had an unfinished Ellen Hilderbrand novel on my chest. I would stay up all night reading that, even though I knew that was a bad idea and I was going to ruin tomorrow. And I knew that I was going to ruin tomorrow, and I did ruin the next day. I did not get as much done as I hoped to that week. But a few years ago, I would have seen that video. I would have liked it. I would have saved it. I would have been up at 4 a.m. reading those same stupid books and doing a workout. And I did for a while do stuff like that. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. so that I could go to the gym before the kids woke up and went to school so that I wouldn't waste any time working out when I could be working. I had every minute of my day planned and color-coded, all in the name of doing. I was also very, very miserable. I got an average of 2 car accidents a year, usually running into something like the tree in our own backyard because I was so frazzled, I was so distracted, and also not treating my ADHD at all. I was so burned out, I couldn't even have told you that or confessed to it, and for what? Like, there is no potential that needs to be maximized. I'm not a naturally efficient person. And for me, the cost of efficiency was happiness. I don't want to be efficient. I want to meander more. I don't want to optimize anything unless I'm driving a Kia Optima, in which case I will always say, in honor of my friend's dead friend, let's optimize. And if you are a naturally optimized person who likes to wake up at 4 a.m. and loves systems, I salute you. That's great for you. But the pursuit of a better version of myself has mostly made me unhappy with myself. And what I've also learned through therapy is that a lot of what I called like my good Midwestern work ethic was just avoiding my feelings. And that work, especially in the wake of grief and loss, was a coping mechanism and honestly became an addiction. It really did. I was buying books about burnout, reading them and being like, okay, well, that isn't me. I just bought this book on burnout so that I would know that I'm not burned out, but if I needed to help someone else with it, I would have this resource. I never stopped. I never paused. I just kept going. Yes, because I have a family support, and also because I truly could not stop. I couldn't stop myself from opening my laptop at night while I was watching TV with my husband. I couldn't stop myself from checking my phone constantly, from writing to-do lists, from just doing things, saying yes to things, whether or not I had the time, the capacity, or the interest to do them. I was hiding it like it was a drinking problem. I was lying about how much I was working. I'm my own boss. And honestly, I am the worst boss I've ever had, and that's saying something. For the past 10 years, I haven't taken like a vacation without bringing a laptop. And yeah, I know a lot of people don't take vacations at all. I get it. But the point is, like, I could take a vacation. I just haven't. I always work. I spend so much time at desks like this or at this desk. How about just hunched over a computer, typing, working, doing stuff. I won't even like get up to pee or eat lunch. That's nuts. That is absolutely bananas and totally unnecessary. For years, I've run myself ragged. I've worked myself down to a set of frazzled nerves. I've conflated urgency with importance. I have whittled myself down to a stump like the giving tree, whether or not a strange little boy was begging for my branches. What a weird book. I have measured my worth by my accomplishments, and I've also metabolized them so quickly I couldn't tell you what any of them tasted like. I have run late to everything if I even go, which mostly I don't. I have rarely been where my feet are because my brain has lived in fight or flight since I walked into that emergency room in 2010 looking for my boyfriend. I am and have been so burned out that often I have hoped that one of the cars speeding down the road as I walk the boys to school will hit me hard enough that I could spend a few weeks in the hospital. I don't want to be seriously injured. I don't want to necessarily die, but I would like a light coma. 6 weeks of unconsciousness. I have thought to myself, well, if I get hit by a car and if I die, then no one can be mad at me. No one can be mad at me that I have to say no to them or I can't do this task. Nobody can be disappointed in a corpse. And if you can be, I don't want to hear about it. Nobody can be disappointed in a corpse. I think you can, but it's very pointless. I am a recovering girl boss because I am trying to recover. I am trying to work a normal work day and not let my work bleed into every moment of my day. I am trying to learn how to just exist, not maximize my potential, not be the most efficient, because it turns out I'm not a machine and neither are you. We are not smart devices that just need to be updated so we can work better. We're people, and I don't think our purpose on this earth is to make ourselves the very best doers that ever did. What I am trying to do is what I encourage my children to do every day. Do my best and forget the rest. What gets done, gets done. What doesn't will eventually get done or not. Who cares? I'm not doing brain surgery. You should not be praying for coma via minivan. You should not have a Pavlovian response to your inbox alerts. You should not be so deeply wounded by the things that strangers say to you online that you internalize them as facts. You should not be cutting yourself down to the nub for the sake of something you can't define. But maybe you are. And if you are, if your life feels like a runaway train, if you don't know how to slow down the carousel, if there is a third metaphor for a rapidly moving piece of machinery operating outside of your control, I want you to know that you deserve peace and stillness and a life that feels restorative, that you are more than what you do, even if what you do is good or meaningful or mediocre or meaningless. You don't have to be the most optimal version of yourself. You can just be. And I'm going to say that until you believe it and I believe it. It's going to be okay. And if you are burned out, by the way, and you have done anything that has helped you at all, I do want to hear about it. Something besides therapy. Obviously, I'm in therapy and I'm also just trying to learning how to exist is hard for me. I'm waking up and not looking at my phone. I'm going outside with a cup of coffee. I am reading a lot. I am doing crafts and hobbies that I set down. I am playing a lot of Cozy Grove on the Nintendo Switch. I love Cozy Grove. I don't know who suggested it to me, but thank you. If any of this resonates, we actually have an episode of Terrible Thanks for Asking called Girl Boss or Bust, which is about this very topic, about ambition and burnout. And it features the story of Leigh Stein, who is a brilliant writer, one of my favorites. And also, if you've ever wanted to ask me for writing advice, don't. Go follow Leigh Stein, go subscribe to her Substack. She knows what she's talking about. She is an amazing resource, but she also was the founder of BinderCon, co-founder of, whatever. She started BinderCon. She started Binders Full of Women, and she burned out in the girl boss era too. We had a wonderful conversation. What do we do with all of this ambition? What do we do in the wake of all of this? I still don't know. And if you want just a little hug, a little mental, emotional hug during your day, we have a podcast called It's Going to Be Okay. And we've got over 300 episodes. These are mini episodes. They're 5 to 8 minutes to put a little bit of okay in your day. And they're linked in the description and also wherever you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to It's Going to Be Okay. And it's not toxic positivity. It's not even really that positive. It's just it's okay. It's okay. Right? It's about lowering that bar. Always have a very strong ending is my advice for you. If you should know how you're going to stop something before you start talking. That's what I would say.